Ready to take your mobile photography to the next level? Today we are diving into 5 essential composition techniques plus a bonus one that will help you create stunning photos with just your smartphone. From mastering the rule of thirds to experimenting with angles, these simple tips will elevate your photos to the next level. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're passionate about mobile photography, then you're in the right place. Today I'm going to show you 5 composition techniques which you can apply for your mobile photos. Now I'm also going to take you in the field and demonstrate these techniques in real life scenarios. Now today I'm using my iPhone to demonstrate these techniques, but feel free to use any smartphone. Before we head out, I wanted to talk a little bit about composition basics. What is composition? Now, composition is how you arrange the elements in your particular photo frame so that they look more visually appealing. Now, whether you're shooting any kind of photography, landscape or portraits, if you follow these composition techniques, it will help guide your shots. Now, the first composition technique which I wanted to talk about was the rule of the thirds, which I'm sure most of you have already heard about it. And it is a very basic composition technique, and rightly so. So what we do in this is that we enable the grid system on your photo frame, and then by enabling that, when you keep your subject element in the intersection of these grids, then that is something which will create a more visually appealing photo. Now, to enable the grid on your phone, which is there on most of the smartphone these days, I'm going to show you an example on the iPhone. Now on your phone, go to the settings and then go to your camera settings, and there in the composition you have different settings. So just enable the grid. Now when you go back to your camera, you can see that you have the grid enabled, and this is how it will help you guide in taking photos. So your photo element should be placed at the intersection of these lines basically, which actually gives you a more kind of a visually appealing photo. So the second composition technique which I wanted to talk about was using leading lines in your photos. Now these leading lines could be anything. Basically, it can be, say, a row of fences or trees or anything which you find in your photo composition, the lines which are actually kind of converging towards your subject, that really gives a lot of appeal to the photos. Now these lines will help draw attention directly towards your subject, and also will make your images feel like more intentional. Now plus leading lines also will add a lot of depth, and it kind of gives a 3D effect to your photos. And remember, leading lines don't have to be very obvious in your photos. You can use very subtle elements in your photos. It could be something like a shadow, for example, which you can use in your photos for your composition techniques. Now the next technique which I wanted to talk about was framing your shots. Now, this is a very common technique and I love using this, especially when I am clicking photos on my mobile, because with mobile you cannot basically create a lot of depth in your photo. So adding a frame or something which is like in the foreground of your photos will really add that depth to your photos. Now, for example, to add this kind of depth, you can use, there are so many things which you can use in your composition. It could be something like a window, or you can use doorways, or even you can use trees, which is one of my favorite ways to add frame in the photos. Now that we have covered some very basic composition techniques, I wanted to move a little bit into advanced techniques. Now, one of this is using negative spaces in your photos. Now, with negative space, I mean the blank or the areas which you have intentionally left empty in your photos really adds a lot of character to your photos. Now, using this technique, you can also create that minimalistic feel or look in your photos. And remember, negative spaces will work essentially very well if you're trying to go for that minimalistic look, and it also gives your photos a kind of sense of openness or something which actually will start drawing the attention towards that particular subject. One of the next techniques which I wanted to focus on was using angles in your photos. So by angle, I mean not generally always shooting at the eye level, which is what we tend to do, especially when we are doing mobile photography. So either go high up, or use an angle which is like very high up, or go with a low angle, which really adds a lot of depth to your photos. Now, if you choose to go with a low angle shots, then it will give some kind of a height, and it gives a power and also like a drama to your subject. Now, it really makes your photos look or appear larger than life. Now, by getting down low and shooting upwards, you can make things look taller than they really are. Now, finally, having covered these basic techniques, I wanted to now tell you how you can start using and combining these techniques together. So you don't have to be restricted by just using one of them in your photos, but you can go ahead and combine them. So for example, you can use a low angle and start framing your shots, or you can use low angle and use leading lines in your shots to give those dramatic effects to your photos. And I promised you a bonus technique, so here it is. Now finally, when you're creating photos, it all comes to storytelling. Now stop for a minute and think about what is the story which you want to convey to your viewers, and then start composing your photos. Now, for example, in this photo, which I took of my daughter maybe a couple of years back, if I wanted, I could have just gone ahead and took a photo of her drawing these marbles. But I really wanted to bring in the environment in this photos. That's when I thought of laying out everything so that not only her drawing pad is shown in the photos, but also the environment and the toys which she was working at that minute, and it really invokes a lot of emotion. Even still today, this is one of my favorite photos of her, though it's maybe not taken with a very advanced camera or some using a lot of special effects and techniques, but still this photo actually conveys a story about what she was doing during that particular moment, and that is what I love about these photos. Hope you like these techniques and will definitely try it out when you are going ahead and clicking some snaps with your mobile. Do let me know what is your favorite techniques on mobile photos to try. If you like this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to my channels if you are interested in seeing more content like this. I will see you in another video. Till then, happy clicking. Bye.